Hey guys, welcome back to the Pure Goddess channel. My name is Gwenly. The lighting sucks so bad. Um, yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. I'm a little bit tired today, but I'm trying not to go, I'm trying to post every 2 days a video, and not go towards 3 days not posting. So, yeah. Um, so as always, let's start off with our prayer. I got 3 cards today. I made myself a coffee because I really need it. Um, I hope you guys could hear me. Okay. Okay. So the first one is Proverbs 3:33. The Lord blesses the home of every good person. Matthew 9:29. Because of your faith, it will happen. Philippians 1:6. Have patience. God isn't finished yet. So those are the 3 for today. And as always, um, I don't know why I'm guided to say this. God comes in clutch. I don't use those terms. But I randomly pick from the stack and I get the ones that are meant for today or for, till I make the next video, which is so interesting. Um, so cool. But it makes me feel like a little girl again. Like at school or like when you're learning like every grade level, right? My dad used to buy us when I was a child, like Brain Quest flashcards for learning for the year that you're in school. And they would ask like questions like what the subjects, right? Math, social studies, science, history. So yeah, it just reminds me of that. Like I'm in like God school right now, There's different seasons, different stages of like faith school. I don't know what's coming out right now, but different stages, and it just brings me back to like I'm in school right now and these are flashcards. Um and the cards are hitting like every time I pick from the stack, it's like it's meant to be. And it just makes me like excited and happy to, you know, once the more we practice, and learn the verses and like memorize them, the more we're gonna know the Bible, like Bible study. Um, I'm just doing it in different forms, different ways that are, I guess, that would keep me interested because I don't move like regular people. A typical Bible study will like put me to sleep, or any type of study. I'm not your typical um person, you know. Um and I feel bad for my son right now because I was like, he's not able to a certain point. It's important to like be able to sit in class and like be patient and like follow rules and be obedient and stuff like this. But the way the system is in school, it's like 8 hours of sitting on your ass basically. um Not counting like recess and like whatever else, right? um but sitting for that long, it's like I couldn't do it. Like I would like be falling asleep throughout the day. I just couldn't do it. I think a lot of kids are not able to. So right now it's very hard for him. He hates school. And I just have to remind him that it's not always going to be forever. Eventually I want to homeschool him. Eventually, there is plans, God's plans, um to be, your own business, your own entrepreneur, to have your own thing that you could like produce, create, um by yourself on your own at home. And so um I would like to homeschool and take my son out of like the systems of like US based systems, and myself as well. Like the 9 to 5 and all that. And just out of that control, like I'm very truthful with my child, and I tell him like what it is about the systems and things like this. And he's already aware of it, and that's what kind of like energetic tug and war with like, I don't want to do this, but I know I have to. Eventually my mom's gonna be my teacher. Like he's so excited for me to like be his teacher and like homeschool him and all this and that. Like that's what motivates me and pushes me more to eventually to get there faster, but also God's timing, right? um there's a lot of factors right now that are like everywhere. And like, who wants to stay in the US? i'm I don't want to live here. I've always wanted to like move out of the US to another country and just live a real life, like live a happy life, live a life where you're happy to like to live where you're at. um and just I don't understand. Like the US is like the worst place to live. um and so I'm opening my mind back to, and like God's timing and like being obedient, all this, like, um, we can't do it on our time or like make our own, our own plan, because it's just, we can't, right? We have to be obedient. I just realized I'm like, Why are we so miserable? Like literally we're imprisoned in like our own home, neighborhood, um, city, state, country. Like we're imprisoned. Like we're not happy. So what the f are we doing here? You know, like we can be somewhere tropical, somewhere where there's sunshine most of the year. You know, people are like happy, they're living their life. Yes, we do live in this 3D world in the Matrix, but there's just, I don't know how to explain it. The lifestyle, people value different things. America for sure value, their value is like shit. Um, you know, so going to a country, right, where values are different, um, and the meaning of life is different. Um, you know, there's always like injustice, corruption, things like that in every single country. Um, and you know, it's just finding whatever fits us. Um, and you know, sometimes what I am realizing, a lot of chosen ones are really like going through the storm or like getting ready to like actually like for God to make moves in your life, right? We are like in places where we are needed, where it's like gone to shit. Like people are miserable, you know, it's like they're really brainwashed, you know, by the country you're in, by the state you're in, by the system. And it's just, it makes you like want to go insane sometimes. Um, and you just stare at the freaking walls, like, you know, what am I doing here? Why am I making myself like live here and try to build something that will make us happy when we're not happy? You know, no amount of material things will make us happy. You know, it's crazy. But, you know, I believe, you know, wherever our families have moved to, like when we were children, or, um, you know, like we migrated here when I was like 6 years old. And this is where we ended up staying because my mother's side of the family was here already. And so this is where I ended up being in the state. I moved away from the state, moved back, but never have I lived outside of the US. And I am from Belize, Central America, Belize. They speak English and Spanish as their main language. And so I always like look back at like where I would be happy, you know. And I have two different viewpoints, you know, growing up here in America, having like a vision, like a dream, but also like living outside of the US, being able to like eat fresh fruit every day, being like I don't like extremely hot, but like I like the sunshine. The sunshine takes away depression and it's a vitamin, you know. Living obviously close to the water, being like the water being warm, being able to like go swimming or be in the water every day. The water is just like I'm so connected to the water, the ocean. Um yes, there's lakes, there's rivers, there's but it's not the same. Um and that is like my dream. That makes me feel free. Being able to grab fruit from like the tree, coconuts, eating fresh fruit every day, you know, just sim- simple living, just the most simple things is like eating a fruit that's like natural and like sweet and fresh and it's just organic and like you're just enjoying it and that's just part of your life, like it's just the enjoyment of that, it's just not just sexualized things, but it's just like it makes you love your life or like love life. I don't know how to explain it, but those are the things I crave, and I'm aiming more towards that and I guess just opening my mind. Um and yeah, it's crazy how we live. Like there's nothing, no amount of like material, money, status that will make me happy more than what I just mentioned, what I just said. Like that's what I want for my life, and obviously having faith and worship the Lord every day and and wearing real clothes. Like real clothes like cotton, like just being comfortable and simple and you know just living a simple life, feeling good, being happy, being thankful, being grateful, like a real authentic life, being free and not being like controlled. Today I went to go do laundry with my son. We went to a laundromat close to our home um and we went to go put our load of laundry to wash and then we ran to Costco to my son loves Costco. It's either like a slice of pizza or a hot dog. So this time he wanted a slice of pizza. I said, okay, let's go real quick. It's like less than 5 minutes away. So we went quick. We got that, and then we drove back to the laundromat parking lot, and we were, eating in the car. And then waiting for her clothes, like an hour wait or something. So waiting for her clothes, and um and there's a minivan that parks like not next to us, but like two parking lots on like my son's side, the passenger side, right? And and these people are like people that live in their vans. They do hardcore drugs, and I was just aware, just aware. And it was a male and a female. The male was like in the driver's seat, the female was in the passengers. And the female, like the male was doing something, it's like in their mid 30s, 40s, right? The man was doing something on his phone, and then the female's like looking, but like eyeing me, like just jealous and envious, just like eyeing me. Like, and I didn't notice, I didn't like look back, I just noticed when they parked in this spot. And I look, and then she's just like this at me and doesn't stop. And I started praying, and I'm just like, like I know it's demonic, And I started praying like real loud, and then she calmed the fuck down. She like just looked away, and they didn't look back, And I said a quick prayer, and then I always carry my prayer book with me. I think it's appropriate for like any time of the day to say those prayers. But yeah, after we finished eating, I said all my prayers. Um, and I also prayed for them because guess what? 10 minutes later, they were doing drugs literally there, like to be seen in the front. And, like they had their pipe and everything. I'm like, you get the audacity. Like, of course, people live on the streets, people live outside, and they're doing it like in the tents, or they're, um, they put a jacket over them, or whatever. And, you could see there's a light in there, like a lighter's on. But, okay. So, yeah, I noticed that. I have my warm blanket that has like heat in it because I'm on my. Anyways, I gotta stop saying that. I just got extra cold around this time. But yeah, they were doing it. They were like literally doing drugs in front of me. And obviously, like my son, thank God, I'm like, as soon as that van pulled up, I'm like, don't even look over there. Anyways, he's focused on his mom. We're watching videos on YouTube. I'm feeding him pizza because he likes to be fed sometimes. He's still a child, he's a baby. And he likes me to treat him like like a baby. And he's a mama's boy. And um I'm like, don't even look that way at all. And And yeah, they were doing that, drugs. And I'm like, oh my God. I started praying right away, for them. I started praying. And it made me feel better. Thank God I no longer live with like fear, you know, within me that I get scared of like demonic beings, spirits, like I used to get scared because I was scared of my own power, like within, my own capability, my own authority, right? My own anointing. It used to terrify me, like, and now, like, thankfully, I'm, I'm not. I'm getting there, right? I'm slowly, like, walking into my authority. So, and I'm being patient with myself. I'm taking, baby steps. Some days are harder than others, even though it may not look like it. Um, and I was tested today by God. I'm very stubborn. Like if I'm being told by the Lord, go to this location of like the post office instead of this one, like go here, he showed me, go here. And then because I needed to go today, but I forgot it was a holiday, so it was closed. I couldn't take what I needed to take to send out. And so I'm thinking in my head, we're getting ready, me and my son, to go out, and I'm thinking like planning, where we're gonna be going today, because I like to have a plan before I leave my house. And and I had a vision and like, okay, go here. And I'm like, but I don't want to go there. I want to go to the other location. And then I'm like, okay, like I'll go here, I'm working on that. Okay, I'm working. God is testing me in like little ways. It's like, are you going to listen to me or not? Um, and and I'm like, okay, I'll go here. And then like 2 minutes later, oh, I need to do my laundry too, So and then the post office that I was, whew, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. So the post office I was guided to, literally the laundromat is like 2 minutes away from there, or three. And then that came, like, oh, you need to go do laundry. Like, okay, well that makes sense, right? Um, but I'm like planning where we're gonna go today and like how it's gonna look, And so that was like a little test I got today. Some days, our faith is like stronger than others. But just keeping that like foundation, keeping that like that faith a foundation, so we don't like go, under or be more low vibration, or go back to like bad habits, whatever, like things that are not for the best interests in our lives, in our souls, in our, um, that would affect us in our walk with God. So, uh, yeah, yeah. So after, I had an alarm on my phone, and then the alarm rang, and we went inside to go get our clothes. I decided to fold the clothes there. My son was playing this block game on my phone. He's into like Minecraft sometimes. He used to be obsessed when the movie came out. His birthday cake last year was Minecraft. Um, and it was just this game I downloaded on my phone for him. And these people that were doing the drugs in their van, they did, they came with their laundry. So they were like, it was like awkward for them. I don't know if they realized I mean, no windows were down or anything, but I'm like talking to God and like praying in Jesus' name, um, for them. And, and yeah, I've been more like when I need to go out, when my son has school, I am out all day, you know, and I try my best not to wear a hat and to walk more in my authority. And like I know with a hat or without a hat, I'm still gonna get noticed. I'm still, but I feel like without a hat, it's even more noticeable and like my light, and literally the days that I go out, because other than the gym, I've been kind of not going every other day because it's very draining. It's very draining, and I'm, like my body's going through things right now. So it's like I don't have the energy, or like I'm not strong. I feel really weak. It's been a heavy week for me. Very heavy. Um, 2 nights ago, I had like Charlie horse or whatever. Um, while I was sleeping, that has not happened since I was pregnant. Um, a lot of like loss of like blood. It's like that happens sometimes, but I haven't had that in a while, and I was like screaming because it was like really bad. It happened like 3 times. It was horrible, and yeah, it's a really bad one, but it's gonna take me a few days to recover, honestly. So a lot of rest. I've been just confused or just out of it, all over the place, like literally. Um, but yeah, like when my son goes to school and I'm like out, I go here and there. Um, and then we come home that day, like after school and stuff. I'm so exhausted. Like I need to take a 2 hour and a half nap or 2 hour nap. Like I can't even wait till bedtime. We get home like five something if we don't have to like go somewhere after school. And I'm so exhausted. I need to take, like, my son is not even tired. I need to take a nap. Like, my energy is drained, you know, and that's just being out, like, not dealing with toxicity or anything, like confrontation or like any like attacks or anything, like purposely or like in my face type of thing. But just, yeah, I'm like really sensitive, and the more I get closer to like the Lord, and like I'm in his presence and my faith is growing, and like I'm more walking in my purpose, I get drained even like more. Like I can't be like out and about like every day. And like how it used to be, because you just can't ignore, you can't ignore your life path anymore. You have to be like, we're awakened. You can't, you just can't ignore. Like I used to choose to ignore, not in order to deal with life, in order to live life here in the 3D, like worldly matters, in order to deal with people every day. And relationships, like family, friendships, co-workers, um, love connections. I would like never like ignore a lot of things, right? Because it's like it's not possible for me to go on about like my life every day if I can't do that. Um, and so I would ignore a lot of stuff in order to cope, and now it's like all the toxic people, um, or people that are not, real in my life, which is everyone, I'm even more sensitive because I am in a sense in isolation majority of the, every day, except the days that I'm not, I'm in isolation. Like I'm to myself indoors. Um, and that's just, it feels like the path of like a monk. Not 100% obviously, but just that type of lifestyle that we have to live. So of course I'm gonna crave a life of like simplicity, right? Because what we carry, like what we have to deal with every day, the gifts, everything that we're just so sensitive in the spirit. We feel, we sense everything, shifts, everything. And it's really exhausting. And for a very long time, I've always been afraid of like living or like being in my purpose for a lot of reasons. I mean, so many changes. We don't, like, if we're walking towards that, we're not gonna be living a typical lifestyle. So it's so important. And yes, we're gonna be guided by, by the Lord. A lot of us this year will be guided to different like locations, environments, like a big change in living to get out of like what no longer fits our lifestyle, our purpose. If you're really walking like truthfully in the walk with God, with Jesus Christ, you cannot be in this environment or this like country, like, you know, everyone has their purpose and the reason why they're in their neighborhood, city, state, country that they're in. Um, everyone has their own unique, mission. So just because the chosen one is moving or they're being guided to move to another country doesn't mean it's for you too. You know, especially like if we follow other chosen ones, everyone has their own season, right? And but a lot of us, I feel like we're like in different groups of chosen ones, right? A lot of us are guided to move to different locations, like drastic moves, you know, to live more of a simple life. Um, and you know, this brings me some like anxiety because all the changes in my life have always been like not so good changes, like not so happy changes at all. I've never had a good change. Like when, you know, we're watching a video of like inspiration, another, excuse me, another chosen one is talking about change and like, you know, at this time change is coming and like we have to be open to change and this and that and like a lot of changes in our life is coming, like the next season or this season of change and this and this. That terrifies me because we're so used to, I mean, yes, we have faith, you know, we have to have faith and like be obedient and like trust where God is leading us to go, you know, we're gonna be okay. He's our father, right? But the things we've gone through in the past, the trauma, everything, change to us is terrifying. 4141. Change to us is terrifying. The changes in my life have always been for the worse. Negative, depressing, sad, traumatic, change, 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 change. Always. So for me, at this moment, at this time, God is like, you know, He knows our hearts. He knows us. He knows what we're like. Ugh. You know, He loves us so much and He cares for us and He knows what we could handle at this time, what we can't, right? He knows to be patient and like, you know, like slower with us based on what we've gone through. And, you know, just like changes, just like love, just like believing in faith, just like trusting again, betrayals, and just like how we struggle with like keeping the faith sometimes, you know, and just like how we struggle and truly seeing ourselves for who we are because we were trained, we were raised by people who told us the opposite of who we truly are, of who God made us to be, who, like, you guys don't know how hard I'm working in the area of like how I see myself, like my image, how I see myself. I'm really working hard because if you look back to my videos in like December, like I started again making more videos and I'm getting so much support um, from a specific person on YouTube who really has helped me and projected and like mirrored things to me, right? has helped me so much in like my journey and like being comfortable and feeling safe, like on camera, and who truly like shows me like who I truly am and like the image, in how God sees me and how others see me. But going through so much shit in life, like, and so many people hating on you, and your own parents telling you like you're not enough, and like just like you're not beautiful, you're not this, you're not that, like low self-esteem, like insecurity, you literally, it's projected onto you, and you start believing. And for the longest time I would believe, sometimes I would get out of it and like really like see myself, oh, I'm beautiful, like, and then some I would go back to that, like when I would get stuck again or back to like that depressive, that the karmic cycle, I wouldn't think so highly of myself because that's how I was raised and projected on my whole life, I'm working so hard on like, and I'm like my own cheerleader, that's the part that makes me like the saddest. That my whole life I've always been my own cheerleader. Like no one's ever like rooted for me or like cheered me on or like motivated me. Nobody, you know. It's all an illusion. It was all an illusion. And I think that's the part that, gets me sad sometimes because I'm healing, like I'm healing a lot of areas, and the areas that need more love right now, yeah, it makes me sad because truly no one was ever there. It was always like an illusion, of like they're there for me, but they're truly not, and the betrayal part doesn't hurt anymore. It's more of like, talking to my like inner self and being that mother to myself, like, being positive and like loving to myself in these areas. It's just like crazy. Like really building myself back up again, like I don't even know how to explain. And like us chosen ones, we move real fast. Like we already like, yes, like God, you know, we are healed very fast. But when we put in the work, like it's extra fast compared to like regular people. Like we really go in, excuse me, go in, do the work, and we're pushing, pushing, pushing. Like we don't give up until we fulfill, until we accomplish, until we are to a point where we could relax, could rest, depending how much trauma we have to like reflect on, and how much we could like stomach and digest because we've been through a lot. And so, isolation or just being more of like at home to yourself helps a lot. Um, with healing, especially if it has to do, I mean, like, when I go out, people automatically will project, will hate, will envy, will give you the evil eye. Just be haters, you know? And when you're getting that every day, all the time, like if you're out every day, you're getting that all the time, it's harder for you to like heal that area, right? Um, so right now I'm working on that. I've really seen me, and it's not that I don't feel beautiful some days, but it's just like literally seeing me, you know. So I'm not sure, like I can't see clearly yet, but I'm not sure like the outcome, but I'm getting there, you know. Um, yeah. So that's really interesting. I saw a video today. I forget her name, but she is a chosen one, you know. Um, and she's cool. She's like, she has, you know, she's an entrepreneur. She has her own thing going. Um, but she was talking about that today. She posted a video and it really hit me because, yeah, the way we're raised and how, especially, you know, by your own mother, if you're a female and then your mother is like your biggest enemy, your hater, right? And she has all these projections, insecurities, like she doesn't feel enough and like she will project. It's like from the movie Rapunzel, you know, the blonde princess with like the long hair that's stuck in the castle. And then I don't know if it's like the mother or the some witch, right? That's how I felt my whole life. All the Princess Disney movies, I can relate to it. All the evil witches, that is my mother. How I've always felt, you know. And a lot of the prophetess, a lot of like the chosen one females, specifically two of them, they will talk about that. Like Cinderella, you know, you're treated like crap by your stepmother, and like, but you still live everyday life, like, you know, with the animals, with the birds, and like you make the best out of like everything every day, you know, and that's me, you know, that's always been me for most of my life, going through warfare and going through crap. But after I dealt with like the narcissist, I was completely drained, completely, like my whole essence just left me. That spark left me. Like I went through, I really, the past 5, 6 years have been like the toughest since 2020. Yeah, the toughest of my life, toughest spiritual warfare battle. And I was really broken down, you know, it's like that did it for me. That broke me for sure. Um, yeah. So I don't know. You know, I'm trusting in the Lord and I'm being guided by God. You know, being obedient, staying obedient, and like healing. And, you know, I'm born again. And truly becoming the person God has created me to be all along, right? And I see it like I have a higher perspective. I've always had a higher perspective that I've always known I will be here one day. I cannot give up. You know, God gives you visions, um, downloads of like, there's no specific time because it's all in His timing, right? I've never had like specific dates from Him or times when this will happen, when that will happen. Not really. But I will have downloads or visions like when you're going through the storm, many storms that we've gone through, by the way, it's not just one storm. But when you're going through the storm and you want to give up and you're in the middle of it, you will get a download, you will get a vision. You keep going just enough so you don't give up, right? And so God will do that, you know, and I'm always given a download or vision of like when you're out of it, this is going to be you, like your higher self, right? When you're healed, this is what it's going to look like, or this is where you're going to be. And we're getting there, right? And that's what keeps us like to keep pushing, to keep going forward, not to give up. You know, when we're exhausted and tired, when you're fighting for your position to stay in the spirit, like we gotta fight for our spot. Like no one's gonna take us down. Even when we're sleeping, we're fucking fighting. Like we're in in spiritual warfare, you know, even when we're sleeping. And I could just speak about my past, my recent past, because there are still people in my life that weren't supposed to be out of my life a year and a half ago, right? Like family and things like that that I couldn't let go of. But that's what caused more of spiritual warfare, like in dream state, in spirit realm, and in the 3D. Now it's gone down. Yes, I still feel afflictions. I still feel like, hey, someone's trying to do something. I feel like this today. I feel like that today. Um. Okay. And automatically, it's like, automatically, let's go pray. Let's put worship music. Let's, call on to God. Be in His presence. God, what do you want me to do at this moment? you know, like, and, you know, I'm really focusing on that, and, you know, I'm gonna fulfill it, you know, it's like, just knowing, you know, that's the ultimate goal right now. It's just knowing, like, when God tells you to move, you move. It doesn't matter. Like right now, I'm being tested by Him in a lot of ways by little things because this is like new to me, you know. And there are things you have to do while going through this, right? Staying in prayer, um, not being distracted at all by a lot of things. And if you feel like you're like moving away towards, then you gotta cut things off. If it's too much of this, too much of that, you gotta stop it. You know, being disciplined. Um, because it's so crucial right now. It's really, really crucial. And you know, some hours, some days it slows down. You know, it's like the spirit realm slows down or it quiets down, and then I just like be patient. I sit, I wait, you know, or you know, I'm going about life, but I'm waiting. I'm, you know, like spiritually, I'm like obedient and I'm waiting and I'm patient. And then I get a sign here and there. I get a download. I get a vision, and then okay, I could take another step, and I'm like, you know, going along again. And then the Lord will come back and you know. So that's what's, you know, just excuse me, working on that. Um, I don't know when I talk, I get so close to the camera sometimes. So I'm just trying out this. This is my living room area. I'm just trying out something more comfy, the sofa. Um, to like relax more in my videos. But oops. Yeah. There's so many things I want to talk about, but it's like the speed my mind goes in, it's like really, really fast. Like, even my words are not, like, I can't spit it out fast enough, you know? Uh, yeah, but you know, it's crazy. It's really crazy. It's like I'm in more of my soft, feminine era. You know, I'm becoming that. I've always been a soft, like feminine. Um, I've always have looked for, you know, because I didn't know this path. I didn't know, you know, like a kingdom spouse. I didn't know like all this stuff. Like I didn't know. It's like I knew God, but I didn't know the walk. You know, I don't know how else to explain it because God has always been with me. Um, but I guess I don't know. But I've always aimed for, it's like you have hopes and dreams and wishes of like a partner. And, I've always wanted a partner um, who is just masculine, who, and like if I was healed, yeah, I would be someone that's healed too. Um, Someone who has feminine and masculine energies balanced within them, who can be soft and vulnerable and gentle and loving and like one of my love languages, I don't know all of them, but is like affection and touch. And like I think all the love languages, I for me is like to give. I think I have all the love languages, like how I would be with my partner, but also like what I want also is like all the love languages, like a balance. Um, but the main ones, it's like money can't buy, you know, being present, being affectionate, with like touch and like words and like thoughtfulness, like, little things, like, oh, this is my favorite thing. And like, my partner brings that for me. Even if it's like the most simple thing, it doesn't have to be extravagant. Um, simple everyday life things like, you know, like cooking or doing something that I do every day and then my partner doing it for me. An act of love, I think. Just being in the presence, being in the moment. Like that's still, things I didn't have growing up, Um, and it's not things like, oh my God, I didn't have that growing up, so that's what I want. It's just having someone like that, having a partner like that will heal me even more. And that's where it's like full circle. That's where, it's like when the Lord brings people together, you're not going to be fully healed. You're going to heal together because what you wish and you desire and you pray for, that partner will have those things that you never had, or like they will show you what you never had, like growing up from your parents. They will do that for you. So they're going to heal your inner child. They're going to heal your heart, your soul, in those ways. And that's how I see that. And also, like, so important is, talking about the Lord, talking about God, you know, that's intimacy. intimacy, not just like, making love and all that, but like intimacy and like what, what God has shown you, what God like has, just talking about the Lord and like how He is working in your life at that moment, because everyone is different, right? God comes to everyone in different ways. So I think that is like the ultimate, like that would be so cool, right? And how we see things and how God speaks to us and how He guides us and how we see like different points of view, how we think, how we act upon what we need to be obedient towards. And that's just a different type of intimacy, of understanding of like you and your partner when it has to do with the Lord. Um, Praying together, um, and obviously like, I'm new to like reading the Bible, but having like, I don't know what it is, maybe like, I don't like the term Bible study. I really don't. It was 144. 111. Um, because maybe I don't like the term Bible study because so many religions do Bible studies, right? And it's like a lot of it is like fake, a lot of it is like not the Bible, but the intentions and meaning behind it, and like not the full understanding. So that's why it's like that that label or that term irritates me. But like um reading the Bible together, and like talking about it, like how did you interpret that verse or that chapter or whatever, like how did you interpret, excuse me, how did you like, what did you take from it, how did you understand it? Because every time like you read a book and you reread it, it's like you get a different understanding of it, or something you didn't see the first time reading it, you're gonna see the second time reading it, whatever it is. So, and it's, yeah, um, and just the listening, oh man, the listening and, listening to your partner and like truly listening and comprehending and like understanding and acting upon it, like responding or like finding a solution to your problem, to whatever you're talking about, right? Even if you're not looking for a solution, more feedback, positive feedback. Um, someone that's equally yoked to you, basically, someone that's on your level that understands the chosen one's life, a chosen one. We have to be with chosen ones, right? Like no one else below is gonna understand. Like I've tried it many times. I've been in relationships and whatever the person is attracted to from like you is the same thing that's going to like lead them away. They're gonna be intimidated by it at the end. Um, you know, like your depth and like your sensitivity, like your affection, like your how understanding, or how much you listen, and like, you know, that was a big thing for me in the past. And like, I've always been there for others. It's like they need something, they want something. Like, I'm always the person who finds a solution no matter what. I'm always the I can and I can't, and not that I can't. I can achieve, I can do, I could fulfill, I could achieve, like I can complete, I can make it happen. That's who I am. Um, like, I don't give up, you know? And especially for the people that I love, I go beyond. And that's something that I've never gotten in a relationship, is someone who will do the same for me. They're not really in it, you know, they don't really care enough to go the extra mile, even. You know, like, I'm not their life, you know? And it's like, you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out in the relationship, you know? So that's always been the case for me. Or like, you love me, you hate me. You know, it's like, that's the type of vibes, energy I would get. And it's like, that's not enough, you know? And yeah. But it's been an hour and 17 minutes. And yeah. I'll probably record another short video. Whatever comes to mind. I'm really working on like patience and obedience. You know, some days are harder than others because I am a person that takes action if I really am pursuing something. If I'm going towards something, like, I really take action until, you know, I complete it. Then I stop. So it's really hard. It's like a push and pull with like the Lord, because we have to be obedient, right? And that's like when you feel like passionate and you feel like that rush, like how I feel right now. Ugh. You just want to go for it, and it's like God's telling you, like, you need to hold on and wait for me. And it's like, you don't want to. But I'm learning. And we're not perfect because we're not completely obedient, but then, you know, we repent and then it's okay, you know? But yeah. Okay. Bye.